Hey all, welcome back to the channel, and this is the kickoff of what I'm calling Arcee Week. And I already looked at the Generations way back in episode 76. I looked at the Prime Beast Hunters in episode 235, and I have even looked at the Earthrise in episode 790. So all of that part is kind of dumb, but we're not quite there yet with what I want to talk about. You see, I kind of want to end the week with sort of an assessment to see which one sort of still stands as a quintessential version of Arcee. So I'm trying to kind of spread that blanket as wide as we can. So today we're going to look at the Cyberverse Deluxe Class Arcee. How does she stack up? We're about to find out in the latest GotBot True review. Hey all, welcome back to the channel. I'm your host, your most humble of hosts, Dennis Moulton, aka GotBot. As always, man, please like, comment, share, of course, subscribe. While you're at it, light 'em up, baby. Hit that notification bell, please. It helps me out a ton. It lets you know when content of all sorts goes up here on the channel. Check out Machinery of Man, The Everything Factor, all the groups that I'm either a mod or an admin for. All of those links down in the description below, as well as all the links for all of my social media. If you're in a position to help the channel to grow, you can use the donate link. Check us out on Patreon. See what we offer to you through Teespring, or of course, between you and me, you can hit the join button right here on YouTube to become a channel member. Special secret, man, for you and for me. And this is Cyberverse Arcee. Look, I think that the Cyberverse line started off rough. I think that the fiction started off rough. I think everything about it started off rough. And once they kind of went with the deluxes, I think that's where this line really kind of found its stride. There's some fun, functional, and flashy looking offerings in the deluxe lineup. Not so much Warrior or some of the Ultra. It's a bit of a mixed bag with the rest. She looks beautiful. I'm just going to say it. But we do need to kind of assess her based on the metrics that we always use, especially this time around where I kind of want to compare versions of Arcee from some different areas, but they're all kind of homaging a G1-ish-esque look, if you will. Such is the case here. How good is she? Well, you know what? How about we head over to the table and take a closer look at this girl. And so we kick off Arcee Week, if you will, in terms of reviews anyway here on the channel, with the Cyberverse Deluxe Class Arcee. Here she is alongside the Earthrise and the Generations. I looked at the Generations way back in episode 76, a long time ago, and she scored well. She had paint apps of a 9, articulation of a 7.5, because the hips are a little limited and she does lack a waist, and a transformation of a 9. The Earthrise I looked at in episode 790, and I said her paint apps are a 9.75. Yes, we all know that she matches the Netflix series pretty darn close, if not a 10. But most of us are still going to measure her by her G1 iteration, and because the face in that was not a stark white, really it's 9.75. The articulation is a 9 on the Earthrise, and the transformation, though it's a shell former, it works fine as designed for the most part, even though it's the epitome of a shell former. So because it does work well as designed, it does get an 8. Now, why do I show them with her? Because, let's be realistic, the Cyberverse Arcee is definitely done in homage to the original. Again, not an exact like 1-to-1 ratio or anything, but it is done in homage to it and does it quite nicely. How is it going to stack up? Well, the very first thing to note is that she holds her blaster well, and she does come with 2 blast effects that can both go on it. Now, this is on loan to me from Maximal 10, and I noticed that the blast effects are slightly curved. I don't know if they're supposed to be like pure straight or slightly curved, but all pictures and everything that I've seen seems to indicate that, yeah, no, they're supposed to be slightly curved. It is what it is. So, okay, cool, I guess. I feel like they probably should have been straight. What about her paint apps? We can do that right now, and like the way she looks in comparison to the show. Now, here's the thing. I don't really mind Cyberverse. I think it's an alright program, to be honest with you. I do feel like that the contrast here of light and dark pink should have been dark pink and white. For example, her head, the upper sections around the headlight, say, the inner part of her arm, the outer part of her arm here should be dark. The inner part of her arm and her bicep, her thighs, and the light pink parts down here on her lower legs. As well, it should be light pink around her toes, but all of those areas that are light pink, I think, should be white. The blue on her knees is accurate. The blue on her feet is accurate. The kind of line detailing, like on the center of her body, is about as accurate as you're gonna get. At her hips and her shoulders, there should be some black sections with kind of the like blue energon-y type of wiring and joint detail. I can forgive that not being there. It's definitely Arcee. She's done well. I'm going to say overall it's about an 8.5 for cartoon accuracy. It's pretty good, but that light pink should be white, and we are missing a little kind of the joint detail that's supposed to be black. She still looks pretty beautiful though. So yeah, I'm going to say 8.5. Then we get to the articulation. The articulation for Arcee is head left and right. It can look down, not much up because of the junk there. The arms, they can go up and down. Not as far out as I would like for them to go, unless I'm doing something wrong. We do have 90 degrees at the elbow. Nothing that I can detect at the wrist. And we do have a waist on her. Legs all the way out to the side, which is surprising. They're not usually that way. Thighs swivel just here at the knee. Deep knee. And we have toes that go backward and forward. But we do not have, and I'm just going to stand her up, we do not have toe tilt. For articulation, I'm going to say, honestly, it's better than most Arcees. I'm going to put it at, again, at about an 8.5. I'd be remiss if I didn't show her blaster up a little bit closer with its blast effects in it. It's not painted. It's molded fine, but it's not painted. It would have been nice to have a little detailing here. And with her scoring an 8.5 and an 8.5, before we get into the transformation, here are the instructions. We're not going to need them right now, but they are actually pretty effective for the most part. Honestly, I'm finding her to be a pretty great Arcee. I mean, I get it. People sometimes like to have, here's my Cyberverse shelf, here's my Prime shelf, here's my this and that shelf. But some people don't have that space, and they can only have room for one kind of definitive version of the character in their mind. Her look is kind of quintessentially Arcee. Her articulation is among the best. Let's see how that transformation goes. So, we come back here and we kind of lift this up, and there's a whole hinge in here that comes out. And this whole hinge that comes out slides out just like that. It is a lot to it. We open out these back tire sections, and there's pinned hinges right here that are super duper tight on this copy. But you bring that up, and honestly, you should be able to kind of just, if I can do it, of course it doesn't want to do it now, but it should basically just fit in here on the side. I'm not getting it quite lined up there now, but I'll get it in a little bit. Then we also take this section here down, and the way it should line up is we have a couple of little sections on the side of, like right here, that should, they're dark pink, you can't see them right now, but they should line up over kind of tab sections right here. You just have to finagle it to get it out and lined up properly. That section comes out on the front. And then all of this kind of rotates up on her back. These arms will go in the side, but then we need to flip up the legs here, and they will flip up on the back and on the back. And when everything is kind of crammed in there, it all goes up in the body of the vehicle, and then the arms will come on the side, and they're going to tab in. Naturally, I got to line some stuff up here, especially this front section, because it is a little bit of a finagle to get it out properly. But this whole chunk of her does go up underneath, so it is heavy parts forming, but I think it's done in an acceptable fashion. Let me get this stuff lined up, because it is a little bit of a finagle, and then we'll look at her vehicle mode. And here we have her cleaned up underneath. Her
Front of her body is all there, obviously. Her hands are down by her side. She's bent at the knees with her lower legs up behind her. We turned her head around. You'll notice that there's a space up here where we can store, or we should be able to if we can line it up just right. We should be able to store her blaster up here. Yeah, if you line that up just right, you can store her blaster up there, no problem. I turned her head around, or you could leave her head out, but here's the one nice thing. Though her arms are by her side, they do incorporate and they go over a little dark pink tab here and slot up right here, so they lock in two places. So like you really kind of know where everything should be with her. On the back we have spaces here where we could put a blast effect and another blast. I can get it to stay in there. I don't find that they like to stay back here that well. Whatever, the blast effects can go back there. They don't want to stay there. She rolls she rolls fine, but it is a bit of a tight, close tolerance down there. I like the look of her. She's still kind of a quintessential car, though a little bit different because she's not a convertible anymore. See if I can get these in here again. There and there. I mean, there you go. I mean, there she is as a quintessential car. She was getting an 8.5 and an 8.5. The transformation, again, it's not perfect, and it still has a shell-heavy aspect. But again, I'm gonna say it's about an 8.5. Overall, this is a pretty great RC at an 8.5. Nice vehicle mode, nice robot mode. I don't know if the blast effects really help it here, but you know what? Neat that it's there. One of my favorite things is that we actually have acceptable, decent accessory storage. Something we rarely see in the main line. Cyberverse Arcee, definitely a strong contender as a quintessential RC. And here we are once again, and here she is, and she's a great RC. Functionally speaking, though she has a big backpack, she can still really hit a respectable range of articulation. It's not perfect, but pretty respectable. The transformation is fun and interesting enough that I don't feel like I'm almost being taken advantage of with something so simplistic. I still feel like there's enough moving things that I like it and I find it interesting, especially in terms of the way the arms integrate on the side of the vehicle. Her look is great. I think the bright pink, the light pink is a little, the baby pink, is a little debatable as to its accuracy. Some people might say, no, you know what, that's actually right, she's not quite right. To my eye, she looks white and dark pink. To somebody else's, that might not be the case. I marked her down for it, somebody else might not, and I could totally understand that argument for it. She is tremendous. She strikes nice poses, she balances well, she transforms well. Both modes look pretty great. She is a nice RC. If you've been on the fence thinking about her, be on the fence no more. She's definitely worth adding to collections for those who have an interest in her. She's fun. Anyway, let me know what you think about this RC and this offering. I appreciate you guys coming by. Give me some of your extremely valuable time. I do know how important it is to you. If you're in a position to help the channel to grow, you can hit the donate link. Check us out on Patreon. See what we offer to you through Teespring, or of course hit the join button right here on YouTube. Become a channel member. While you're at it, why not hit the subscribe button? Stick around, have some fun with us here on the channel. Don't forget that somehow, someway, each and every single solitary day, you right there, you do make a difference. And I look forward to the next time that you and I get together to have another visit, either in the live streams on Thursday nights at the stop motion premieres, or the old fashioned way, baby, right here inside the videos.